Okay, so as we get started, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop in on our backs. Find a comfortable spot to lie down. If you have a little bit of lower back tightness, you can place a bolster or a blanket under the knees. And just really take your awareness to the place in which the earth is supporting the body. So lying down, you can keep your knees bent if that feels good to you, or extend them out. Palms facing upward. We're just gonna drop out of that head space. And usually I have you drop into the heart space. I want you to take your attention here to the belly button today. We're gonna drop all the way out of the head space and into this very earth energy of feeling the grounding of the earth and the connection to the earth. And so I want you to just scan the body, becoming really aware of where your attention roams and each and every part of the body that's touching the earth. Notice the weight, a pleasant heaviness, a feeling of complete support from the ground. Noticing the rise and fall of those deep belly breaths. If it helps to become aware of the breath, you can place the palms on that lower belly, directing the breath to the lowest region of the abdomen. And go ahead and scan the body in this state. Noticing the sensations that arise when you take your attention to the toes. The tingling, life-driven force that vibrates within the ankles and the calves and the knees. Becoming acutely aware of any part in the body where there may be tension. Just take your attention to that space and direct your breath directly to that space of tension. Feel it expand. And allow each exhale to be a release. If you have an intention to bring to this practice today that's outside of the one that I've set for my own practice, now's the time to call it into that deep depth of the abdomen. This is the symbol fire, sun, of self-confidence and willpower, and trust in yourself. And so whatever it is that you want to call into place today, call it into that place of trust. And as you exhale it out into the world, we'll begin the more physical part of the practice today. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and bring in the knees, hugging the knees into the chest, placing the hands on the tops of the knees or grabbing them closer, whichever feels good to you. You can have your hands here, or you can hug them closer and clasp the hands. And just settle into that. Perhaps rocking back and forth, inhaling and releasing. As you squeeze that lower back onto the ground, contracting the stomach on an exhale. So inhaling, allowing the knees to release outward. Exhale as you hug those knees back into your chest, squeezing all the air out. And inhaling, releasing the legs away. And exhaling, bringing them back in. You can do this at your own speed, inhaling the feet away from you, exhaling them in, and remembering that the faster our breath moves, the more heat we generate. And the more heat we generate in this lower abdomen, the more we accept, the more we burn off thoughts and patterns that we no longer want or need. We are eliminating in the same way we are accepting. And yet remembering that acceptance comes in fire. Acceptance does not mean apathy. But rather understanding from a place of love, from a place of trust. And as you complete one more circle, or cycle rather here, allow the legs to find their center. Feeling that lower back press deep into the ground. Let the knees fall to one side as you bring the arms out into a T. Arms in a T, legs fall into one side. Allow the chin to swivel in the opposite direction of the knees. Opening up the chest cavity. Expanding the heart. And take one more deep inhale and exhale here. And slowly swiveling the chin back towards the ceiling. Inhale those knees back up to center. Find that center by pressing that lower belly into the ground once again. Lengthening the neck along the floor. Taking a deep inhale here on the exhale, let those knees fall to the other side. Swiveling the chin in the opposite direction. Really feel the sensations in the body. And go ahead. On your next inhale, inhale the chin back to center, knees back to center. Go ahead and place those arms again on the knees in order to open the knees out to the sides. So just a very light pressure, just the weight of the hands on the knees, wherever that openness comes from there. You can be here, that's fine. You can open only until you feel comfortable. And as you open those knees out to the side, opening up the hip flexors, checking with that lower belly. Take a deep breath, and on the exhale, contract it down to the earth. Take another deep breath here into the belly. And with a little bit of force, contract it down to the earth again. One more time. Really push that air out of your lungs, pressing the back of the spine into the ground. And let those knees begin to draw circles. Really attempting to keep that lower back glued to the ground. Drawing circles with the knees. Warming up those hips and the inner thighs. Opening the hip flexor, waking up the psoas. Experiment with the reverse movement. Remembering to breathe. And then from here, we're going to push those heels up to the sky. Legs are open, feet are flexed. I can hold on to my knees here. I can hold on to my ankles. Or I can hold on to the inside of my heels on the arch of my foot. And I'm just gonna rock back and forth in happy baby, giving that lower back a nice massage as I simultaneously open up that psoas. Remembering to keep the face soft. I can thank my kidneys at this moment. I give them a little massage as well. And then coming back to center, go ahead and release those legs so that we have both knees down here. We'll put both feet on the ground. Check in with that lower back again. And we're going to start working a bit on that hamstring. And so leaving the left leg bent, go ahead and extend the right leg up to the ceiling. And you don't need to have the legs straight. Just work within your own limitations. If this is where you're at and you feel that lengthening of the hamstring, that's perfectly fine. And let's go ahead and add some dynamic breath to it. So inhaling the knee as I flex it. Exhale that heel up to the ceiling. Inhale it down as I flex the knee. Exhale it up to the ceiling. Inhale as I flex. Exhale as I extend. Move at your own pace, coordinating the movement with the breath. Last time. Inhale it in and exhale it out. Go ahead and bring that foot down to the mat. Take a second to recenter yourself. Check in with that lower abdomen and the lower back. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and lift the left knee, lacing the fingers behind the thigh if that works for you. And we're going to dynamic stretch that knee up to the sky as you exhale. And inhale as you flex it down. Exhale as you push the ceiling away from you with your heel. Inhale it back in. Coordinating the breath and the movement and working at your own pace, accepting your own limits, finding what feels good. Last time, exhale it away from you. And then go ahead and drop it down onto the mat. We're gonna go ahead and do a little back massage again, like we did 2 weeks ago. Some of you were here, some of you weren't, so I'll explain it again. We're gonna go ahead and cross our legs like we were in, if we were in Indian or sitting in like easy posture or cross-legged. And reach down and see if you can touch your ankles. Okay, so your knees are turned out, and you're just gonna try to grab on there. If that works for you, great. Another option is to just again put the hands on the knees like this. And we're gonna go ahead and use the feet to give the body a little bit of an impulse as we just roll slightly, activating that core. Our bellies are tight. If this is the way you're doing it with your knees, great. I'm gonna do it like this, where I hold on to my ankles. And after you've done 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 of these, whenever you feel ready, let the impulse of the rocking bring you to a sitting position. And so once we're in a sitting position, we'll just take a second to ground ourselves here, to find our breath, to take our attention to that earth inside of us. And if sitting cross-legged feels good to you, you can do this. If it doesn't feel comfortable in the hips, you can also just extend the legs outward like this. If that doesn't work and you want to have it a little bit open and one flexed, that's fine too. We're going to do a dynamic breath twist, okay? And so it's a little dancey to get our energy up. And so I'll show you how it is, and then you'll do it at your own pace, coordinating the movement and the breath. It is, I inhale like I'm taking the earth up from the ground. Inhale up to the sky, and exhale, drop the hands up to the side. Coming back up, inhale up, and exhale down to the side. So my body, the breath and the movement, the twist is being born in my belly, okay? And so I'm inhaling up, and then I'm turning my belly button towards the wall, opening the arms and the chest up, following it as my head. And when I need to inhale, I bring the arms back up, and exhale, looking to the side again. Inhaling up at your own speed. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We'll do just a few of these. Really focus that attention in the belly button, ladies. Complete one more cycle. One more time on each side. Come back to center. And drop the arms. Really finding that ground once again. This is always available to you, and you can return to this home base over and over and over again. Returning to the sensation in the body. Connecting with the physical. And understanding that all of the things we feel on a physical level come and go. Such as the emotional level. They rise and they fall. We are neither our bodies nor our emotions, but rather the awareness that perceives this rise and fall. And when you feel grounded and ready, we're going to go ahead and come to a standing position, maintaining the awareness in the body. Find our way to standing. We'll use a chair. Taking our time. To find that same grounded feeling by taking our attention now, instead of to our belly, to our feet. Feel every tiny area on the bottom of the foot. Notice the way the earth supports the weight. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Center the weight on the feet, noticing if you tend to place more weight on one leg than the other. Find that center. Squeezing the lower belly back to the spine. Flex our legs slightly, flexing the knees, placing the hands in the crease of the hips. We're going to fold the body over on ourselves. Placing the hands on the seat of the chair, we're going to walk our legs backward. So we're doing a kind of down dog here. Walking the legs away from the chair. The seat of the chair supporting the hands. Noticing this long lengthening of the back of the neck. The oppositional pull from the hips to the fingertips. Making sure my head is not droopy nor arching upward like this. Really in line. And you can play with this. Try flexing the right knee, noticing the sensations in the body. Try flexing the left knee. Try flexing both knees. And straightening. Let the hips dance if that feels good to you. Drawing circles with the hips as you alternate, flexing the knees. And then come coming back to center. Take one more long, deep inhale and exhale here. Lift the gaze to see the seat of the chair and slowly walk the feet in to meet the chair. So here we are in a kind of 4-point stance. Palms are firmly placed on the chair. Feet are hip width apart. And actually, I need to get something in my hair. You can't see my face. My hair is all over my cousin It. Okay, that's better. So we're going to do a little bit of cat-cow here. Really looking to meet the tailbone with the back of the cranium on an inhale. And then exhale, reaching the head, the chin towards the pelvic region, pushing the chair away from the body, using the chair like a tool. Inhaling up and exhaling, pushing the chair away from you, arching that back, really opening up the spine. Coordinate the movement and the breath. You'll notice I like to keep my knees slightly bent here. I think a lot of people kind of focus on the straight knee aspect, and then we end up hyperextending. So feel free to flex your knees here. Find the fluidity in the movement and the breath. Let's do one more cycle here. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Coming back to center. Walk those feet in, and then you can go ahead and come back up to standing whenever you're ready. And now we're going to face this chair, but we're going to turn our feet out away from the chair. So I just want to make sure you can see this in the video. The way that I am here is that my toes are not underneath the chair, but rather faced outward to the chair. So I'm kind of like this, you know, with the chair in front of me. And so I want to make sure that you only do it to where you feel comfortable. So I'm going to do a very light version of this. My toes are on the outside of the legs of the chair. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to try to flex my knees and keep them right over my toes. Okay? So I'm doing a kind of plie for all of you ballerinas. And I can use the chair to help keep my chest up so that I'm not doing this, okay? Now just push the floor away from the feet there. So you're opening up and you're pushing the floor away from you. One more time. We're just going to do 3 or 4 here. Just asking those hips to get nice and warm here before we go into our lunge. Last time, flexing those knees, keeping the knees right over those toes, and then pushing the floor away from you. Go ahead and shake out those legs. And come back to where your toes are underneath the chair. So now you're again about hip widths apart with the feet. Toes are right underneath the seat of the chair. And we are going to go into a shallow lunge first, and then we'll take it deeper. So standing up nice and tall and really feeling the earth under your feet. Whenever you feel balanced and ready, take a big step back with your right leg, okay? And the first one we're going to do here is facing forward. You'll notice I'm pushing into my heel. The chair is here to help you. So if you're having a hard time finding that stability here, feel free to just put your hands on the chair. That's totally fine, okay? If you'd like to try to find that balance, that stability in the posture, by all means do it. The most important part here is that we are lengthening through the back of the leg, which, believe it or not, is a big part of why our knees hurt us, is this calf muscle on the back part of the leg. And so when our knees start acting up or giving us trouble, we can just go ahead and stretch and massage that calf. And a lot of times it'll relieve that tension in the knee. Hips are facing the chair. My front leg is just slightly flexed, knee right over that heel. You can put your hands on your hips. You can come to prayer position. Go ahead and straighten that front leg now so that you're in a kind of closed triangle. And what we're going to do is now we're going to slide that back leg just a little further and pop that heel off the ground. So I'm no longer trying to push through the back foot. I'm popping the heel off and I'm centering the weight between the front and the back leg. So you should really feel this in the front of the hip, in the groin region, all that psoas. And if you're not feeling it, maybe you're just really good and loose in that psoas, you can take it deeper. You can set that back knee on the ground if you want. All of this is acceptable. This is acceptable. This is acceptable. Whatever works for you. Breathe into that place of tension. Visualize it lengthening and softening. And then, in order to come out of it, you can place your hands on the chair. You can kind of hop that back leg as you push off the back leg. And we're going to come back up to a standing position. Let's go ahead and do the other leg now. Coming back to center with our feet, really feeling the earth as our support. Activate the lower belly, pressing it back towards the spine. We're going to take a shallow lunge, stepping back with the left foot, really pushing that heel into the ground, checking that the hips are facing forward. My front leg is flexed right over my heel, and I can really feel the back of my leg, calf muscles. If I find stability in this posture, I can bring my hands to prayer position. And then straightening that front leg here so that you're in a kind of front-facing triangle. We're going to go ahead and bend the back leg and extend it a little bit more. Again, you can put your hands here on the chair for support. My back leg is not trying to get the heel on the ground. It's propped up. The most important part is that my hips are facing forward, that my knee is right over my ankle. And you can also just set that knee down if that feels good to you. You get a different kind of stretch there because you're not trying to sustain balance. So if this works, try it. You may need to make it less deep. That's okay. You should feel it all along the front of the hip. I even feel it up into my abdomen. Breathe into it, visualize it lengthening and softening. And then using the seat of the chair to put the hands on, go ahead and push off that back leg and come back to standing. You probably want to shake those legs out a little bit after that one. We're going to do one more. This time's quite different. You don't need the chair for this one. Go ahead and face front. You're going to open your legs in the same kind of stance where we did those plies. We're going to go ahead and take the left foot and really face it towards the wall. So I have one foot that's facing directly towards the wall and one that's just out in a kind of 45. And we are going to do warrior two. So flexing the leg that's facing the wall, the back leg can be turned out. It can also be front facing if that works for you. I think I get a better stretch when my right leg is facing forward and my left leg is facing the side. So inhale and exhale. You should feel this in a little bit of a different way. Let's make it dynamic. Inhale that hand up to the sky. Let the right hand fall down by your knee. And exhale back to warrior two. And inhale, reach that right arm up to the sky. And inhale, back to warrior two. Push that flexed knee, push the ground away from you so that both legs are straight now. Inhale, the gaze forward, and drop the arms. Scissor the feet back to center. Okay, we're gonna do the other side now. I'm gonna take a wide stance. Let's go ahead and turn that right leg so that it's facing the wall. Left leg is still facing front. I'm gonna inhale our arms up. And on the exhale, go ahead and flex that leg, that right leg, flexing the knee so that it's right in line with the heel. Taking a couple of nice breaths here, checking in with our lower belly, making sure our shoulders aren't up by our ears, but down on the spine. Reaching those fingers away from the body. On your next inhale, go ahead and drop that left arm down by your knee. Inhale the right hand up to the ceiling as you gaze up to it. And coming back. And inhale forward so that your left arm is facing the ceiling now. Right hand can be kind of sustaining the body on the knee if you wish. And coming back up. Go ahead and push that ground away from the body so that both legs are straight now. Inhale the head forward, drop the arms, and then scissor those legs back together. Okay, let's see how I'm doing on time. All right, good. We're very good on time. So now we're going to do a balancing. So I'm going to turn my chair around so that the back of the chair is to me. And then, again, checking in with those feet, really feeling the way that the earth supports the body. And just make sure that my weight is equally distributed. And how do I do that but by losing the balance? Yes, shifting from one side to the other. The only way to find balance is to lose it several times before you actually find it. And I don't even know if it's something you find. I think it's something you practice. So as you kind of feel the earth, shift that weight onto the standing leg, which in my case is the left leg. It's the closest to the chair. And bring in that right foot so that it's just kind of set at the arch of the base foot of the standing leg. And find that balance there. Bringing the hands to prayer pose. You can have one hand in prayer pose and have the other on the chair if that feels good. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and lift that foot so that it's resting on your leg. And now you can either have it resting on your calf or on your inner thigh, but never on the knee, okay? Find what feels good to you. And check in with the hip of the standing leg. Make sure that you're not doing this, okay? So push that hip up and in so that the glute is nice and active. Again, this is perfect. This is more than perfect. Try to find stability in the posture. Let the tree live in you. Let yourself live in the tree. Firmly rooted. One more breath here. You can do it. I know it's starting to burn. Go ahead and exhale, drop prayer pose, drop the leg and shake out the legs. Give them a reset. If you need the chair for extra help, go ahead and change the side in which it resides. You can go ahead and check back in with those feet. Be sure that your lower belly's active, pushing back towards the spine, lengthening up through the spine. We're gonna shift the weight. And whenever we're ready, we're just gonna shift the weight onto our standing leg and bring the ball of the foot resting at the arch of the standing leg. And this is something you can do here before you even go into the balance. Check in with that hip that it's not jutting out in a way to compensate. Really take your hand even and push that hip so that it's in line with your leg, with your torso. And then when you're ready, go ahead and inhale and bring that foot to rest upon the calf. Finding stability. Think like you, I'm sure you spend a great deal of time appreciating nature. And for me, to watch the trees, it's such a beautiful lesson in life to see how firmly rooted they are, and yet they sway in the wind, in the chaos. They lose their leaves and they grow them back. This is the time when you find the tree in you, when you find the you in the tree. One more big inhale here. Exhale, go ahead and let that leg slide down. Shake out the legs. And we can go ahead and move our chairs now. I think it's about time to roll into our relaxation, but I just want to check in with everyone before we do that. I'd like to make sure that everyone feels satisfied. I can't seem to unmute you guys. I don't know what is happening with this. So if you want to, if there's anything else that you'd like us to see before we go into the meditation part, go ahead and unmute yourself and tell me what it is that you'd like me to address. I'm more than happy to add. If there's something else in the body that you feel like you didn't get, now's the time. This is your practice. You think everything's good? Okay. Everything's great. Okay. Well, go ahead and find a place that feels good for the meditation. You can lie down on your back. You can sit in a chair. Whatever feels good to you. And let's just let this practice settle in. Let it sink in on a cellular level, allowing the shifts to take place, and really noticing the difference from just even 5 minutes ago. The impermanence, the thoughts and the emotions, and even the sensations in the body. Notice perhaps a sense of calmness, of self-trust, of self-understanding. For we cannot extend understanding to the world around us if we do not understand the self. Scanning the body, taking your attention to the very, very tip of the toe, where the nail beds end. Notice a throbbing vibrational sensation of aliveness. Allow that sensation to grow throughout the body, to extend itself through the instep and arch, into the heel, spreading its tingle into the ankle and the calf. As this sacred energy fills your body, this vital energy. And everywhere that energy touches feels simultaneously alive and at ease. Releasing any possible leftover tension. Knowing and trusting that the earth will then absorb that. Letting it go. Becoming very aware of the body, of the heaviness, as you sink deeper into an awareness of self. You can take that attention all through the body on a journey of alivening. Allow it to scan the thighs and hips and all the vital organs. As you let loose and sink deeper, once you've scanned the body, the shoulders, the neck, the face, and every tiny hair follicle, take all of the attention to your belly. To the lowest part of the abdomen, and let it rest there. In a very intense, grounded feeling. An intense, grounded understanding that there is no you or me. There is only we. And that our experiences form our opinions, but we are not them. Simply rest in this deep understanding. And with this renewed and revitalized awareness and understanding of what has always been and what will always be, little by little, you can begin to move your toes and fingers, feeling the body, feeling the vital energy that is you. Now welcome the day and the week and every experience you encounter with this mantra. We are. We are. Slowly beginning to move. And roll over onto your left side. Coming into a relaxed fetal position. And then slowly finding your way to a seated position. I'd like to close class today by singing Om. I know that we don't normally do this in my class. I think some other teachers might. But Om is a sacred syllable that is used for clarity as a way of clearing space. And I just thought we'd do it because it's nice to clear space, and it's nice to use as a tool in order to know that we can return to it over and over again as a way of coming back to center and clarity. So you can simply rest in the vibration, the sound of my voice, or you can sing along with me. Take a deep breath. Thank you for coming and practicing with me today, for sharing in this beautiful, holistic practice of mind and body and spirit and energy. I'm just so grateful to have you as a community of practitioners, a reason to get up in the morning. And this practice that guides my everyday. Satnam. Namaste. Okay.